And now we're moving on to one of the filter systems that I was holding high hopes for as well. Wine Country will provide very, very nice cases for their filters. Are one of the most expensive filter system out there. When you look at the filter holder, you can see some of the reasons for that expense. We have stained teak-like wood handles on either side. The whole thing is made out of a cast aluminium or machined aluminium piece. We have nice brass knobs to tighten and loosen things. Even the knob to rotate the polarizer is made out of wood. The filters themselves are sitting beautiful. They look like carbon fibre. They're definitely some sort of resin cast filter caddies with stamped brass locking knobs on them. So when you look at it instantly, it looks absolutely fantastic. It's disappointing in a few ways though. Let's start off with the adapter. It's huge. There's no issue with it being overly large. If you want to carry a few different sizes, it's going to be quite heavy. That's the major issue. If you want to leave them on your cameras, you might be annoyed by the fact they get in the way. However, we haven't started with the issues yet. This is the first major issue. The way that the adapter fits on is very nice and easy. It just slots onto the front. There is a ring at the back, and obviously the adapter is a ring, and it just sits on. Now obviously it won't sit on, it will want to fall off. The only thing holding it on is a brass threaded screw on the outside. Now this doesn't go into a recess on the adapter, it just sits on the outside, and you may be able to see some of the marks where I've tightened it up. And when you've got something this expensive sitting on the end of your camera, you don't want it to fall off. So let's put that on and tighten up there. So if it's not completely tight, the bottom end of it flexes even though it's touching the surface. Once you get it completely tight, yeah, it's pretty secure. I can still flex the bottom side. Let's try and clamp this down hard. Yeah, I just clamped that down hard and it came off. So it still flexes a little bit at the bottom, and if I flex it a few times, it comes off. So let's go for broke. Now on this little brass lever is a hole. Now I can only presume that hole is to stick a lever in so you can really crank down on this. Okay, loads of pressure on it. Now it flexes a bit and still comes off. That's not great at all. Let's move past that. Once it's on, you can see that it's big. Not only is it big, it's heavy. When I first did all the product photography for this, I had it on a little tabletop tripod, and I came to the Wine Country filter system and it tipped the whole thing over. That would be fine if there were some advantages of it being so big. I'm not sure there are, and we'll come to that in a moment. Let's look at the filter caddies. And I have to say the caddies are beautiful. They are some form of machined, I think, resin product. They hold everything very securely. It has a brass knob that turns to release the filter. So putting the filters in and out is straightforward. And it goes into the caddy very easily. Now here's, oh, okay, it nearly fell off again. Now it's okay. You can see I've got it into this front slot very easily. The front slot is a dedicated slot for plain ND filters, which is great. It has a stopper at the bottom. It has a flanger around the outside, which provides a light leak apart from the very top. So it's all well designed, but unless I stand over the camera, I can't see the slots to insert the filters. Now, when you put the filter in, it stops at a certain point because we have these brake buttons. And the brake buttons release these to move up and down very easily. You let go, they lock, which is great. They can't drop out the bottom. So my worry at first was if I've got two grads in and I press the wrong filter when I'm not holding it, will the whole grad drop out? It doesn't. That's good design. So there's one filter in. If I want to turn the polarizer, we have a really big knob. Let me just turn this around a little bit. That's lovely. The action on that is absolutely fantastic. And let me just take this off a second, because if I want to put a polarizer on, I have to remove the adapter. Not a major issue. And then I have two very large clamping levers at the back, and I can get a finger in. I can't get a finger in. I have to turn it upside down to drop the polarizer out. And you can see the polarizer, very large, cogged wheel on it. So I can just about get that out with a nail in one corner. So that's locked in nice and securely, and I do like the way the design works. Locking levers, polarizer comes out, close locking levers, rotate. So let's see how this works when I'm wearing gloves. Putting the system on, I hit my first problem, is that isn't secure enough to let go to move my hand around to the locking knob. So I have to fiddle my hand around to get the locking knob in place. I can use a polarizer. Obviously, from what you've just seen, putting the polarizer in and out will be straightforward with the gloves on, but I have to take the filter holder off. Let's go to the graduated filter. Okay, all things just come back off again. I have to stand up to get the right slots. Once I've got the right slot, everything works well, but I need two hands. I need one hand to unlock it and one hand to move it. There's no way for me to really adjust that with one hand. I can override the brake on it, but I'd be worried about wearing the brake out. And I know some people had a problem with loose brakes at some point, and I wonder whether the abrasive side of the filter holder can rub against the pad on the brake. Anyway, once you've done that and taken it out, all seems okay. Let's go and try thicker gloves. With thicker gloves, I've got the same issue. I've got to walk around the system if I want to do it one-handed. Let's do it two-handed because I don't want to drop this. Moving the polarizer, fantastic, as shown before. Putting filters in. think I may have got crossed holes. There we go. So a two-handed job, but I can do it with gloves on. And if I want to remove the polarizer, I can do that with gloves on. A little bit fiddly, but eminently doable. Right. Could have been so good. And the biggest thing that needs working on here is the lock. It's not fit for purpose. The remains of it could be very good with a few tweaks, I think. On to the next product.